Welcome to the Freedive Café, episode 27, with Homar Leuci. My name is Donny, I'm the host of the Freedive Café. The Freedive Café is a long-form interviews that get into the backstories, the training, the challenges, the passions, the fears and personal philosophies of the world's freedivers. Go to freedivecafé.com to find all the previous episodes and the blog I have there. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcast provider. You can do that through the website, through the Apple Podcast app, and if you're on Android, I would recommend the Stitcher app. Whatever app you choose, if you can find the Freedive Café, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. This episode of the show is brought to you by Audible Audiobooks. If you would like a free audiobook of your choice, and you can choose from more than 180,000 titles, just go to audibletrial.com/freedivecafe and sign up for a free 30-day trial through that link. It costs you nothing, you can keep your book forever, and Audible throws me a few dimes each time someone does that, so it's a great free way to support the show. The best way to support the show though, if you really are a fan, is to join the Patreon tribe and support that way. The show is kept alive by the generous donations of Patreon members. If you'd like to know more about how that works, you can find more information on the website, or you can go to patreon.com/freedivecafe. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you and send out my love to all the Patreon family. I can't say it enough. You guys rock, and I couldn't do this without you. By the way, if you guys are looking for amazing gear like buoys, lanyards and fins, I highly suggest you look into the gear produced by Alexander Bubenchikov and his 2B Free company. I've been floating around in the open ocean on these buoys for the last 6 weeks. I've tried quite a few others, and I can honestly say they're the best I've ever come across. As Freedive Café listeners, you can still get free worldwide shipping anywhere in the world on these products. If you go to 2bfreeequipment.com, that's the number 2bfreeequipment.com, and purchase something, and then in the order notes, just write Freedive Café free shipping, and you won't pay for that, no matter where you are in the world. So where are we at? Where am I? I'm in Ubud right now. For those who don't know, Ubud is an enchanting little town in the foothills of Bali's mountains. I've come here for a few days before I head back to the real world, just to relax and replenish myself after the last 6 weeks on the Gili Islands, which have been amazing, but I'm so tired now. It's time to start a new chapter soon, and as much as I will miss the Freedive Gili family with whom I have spent so much time in and out of the water, I'm looking forward to getting back to Taiwan and putting into action the plans I have for the future. Let me just give a quick shout out to all the amazing people who have been supported by in my diving in the last few weeks. Big thanks to Mike Board, who runs an incredible operation over there in Gili Trawangan. Thanks to Victor Reshetniak, my first instructor trainer, Ollie Kristen at Freedive Flow on Gili Air, who was my second. And I'd love to give a quick thanks also to Adam and Aaron Stern, Dan Verhoeven, George Miller, Kate Middleton, Veronica, Severi, Vim, Sophia, Chris, Jared, Justin and Deanna for somehow inspiring me or supporting me on the journey through the last 2 instructor courses in the last month. If I've forgotten anybody, I apologize. I hope we will all have the chance to dive together in the not too distant future. A big shout out to Dale Twycross, who is a Patreon supporter. I had the pleasure of meeting and diving with your friend Helen. Hi Helen and Dale. It's so nice to make these little connections through the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing you both in Taiwan. Okay, on with the show. So here we are on the last day of April, and I'm getting this episode out. You won't have to wait long for the next one either. That will be out on the weekend. Apologies again, I was a little disorganized through the last month, but everything will be back to normal in a few days. The second season of interviews is being planned now, and I'll start recording in a few weeks. I have some amazing guests lined up for the rest of 2018, to be sure. Look out for Mike Board, Carlos Coste, Kate Middleton, Erica Chagate, and many more are on the way. Today, however, we are treated to the company of amazing Italian freediving athlete, Mr. Homar Leuci. Who is Homar? Homar began diving in France a long time ago in 2001 after seeing the movie The Big Blue about freediving rivals Enzo Maiorca and Jacques Mayol. He dreamt of one day becoming one of the strongest freedivers in the world, and this he has done. Through his 15-year career, which is still going strong, he has established 5 CMAS world records, 15 Italian records, and 2 Guinness World Records. Homar has a great story and an inspiring outlook on the sport. This is a lot of fun for me, and I hope you enjoy Homar's interview as much as I did. Okay, let's dive. All right, so first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for coming to do the interview and telling us your freediving story, talking to me and the listeners. Thank you, Homar. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you, to you.
Nice. So were you in CAS for the competition?
Yeah. For the European Championship CMAS. And last 1st October's days, so I compete in monofins and in coastal no fins as well, because during these years I focus my attention in depth competition, in depth freediving, and I focus my attention on monofin and coastal no fins, and I did great. I did well even these years. Because I settled a bronze medal in 3rd place in monofin and a silver medal, 2nd place in coastal no fins.
Nice.
So I'm very happy for that.
Yeah, I'm happy for you too. Congratulations. That's a really good result.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, because it's quite difficult to find information about you online that's not in Italian. So I'm not exactly sure about your history so much, but I understand then that you've been more focused in the pool disciplines before?
Yeah. At the very beginning, I started with pool competition because I'm from Milan, a north city of Italy. So what I've had at the time was the pool, so I focused my attention on the pool. And at the time, during 2001, I had been living for a while in London as well, for a few months. So I focused my attention on the pool. Then I came back in Italy, and I start with depth freediving, and then I felt in love with these great disciplines, and I focused my attention on the sea.
Yeah, that's great, and we'll get to your history in freediving a bit more, because you've been freediving for so many years. It's 15 years now, I think, pretty much, right?
Yes, more or less, yeah.
Okay, so let's jump back to the beginning and find out a little bit more about you. Tell us where you're from and what your childhood was like, and then how did you first discover freediving?
Okay, so. I have to tell you something about me when I was a child, because I was really fond of sharks. All the tips of sharks. When I was 5 years old, I came at the sea during summertime with my parents, and I really loved of sea and sharks. And I saw at the time a film in Italy, that is named The Shark's Hunter. And I really fell in love with the sea. But then I have to wait the age of 13 years in which I did my first class open water with tanks. So I start my dream with tanks, and I got the chance at the time to go down deep in the sea, breathing this time. Then a little step is when I was 20 years old. I was in Mexico with friends of mine, and at the time I got the real chance to go down with tanks and saw sharks at the end. So 20 years old, I I got my first dream. So see sharks free in their habitat, in their own world in the sea. Then I came back in Italy from this trip, this journey, and for many reasons and for studies reason, I lived in France during university time, and in that time I saw another great movie that changed my life totally, because I saw The Big Blue, Les Grands Bleus, and I decided on myself that I would like to reach the depth in a variable weight and the really very abyss. So I started to train a lot on myself, twice a day. At the time, I was a smoker. I smoked many cigarettes per day, and I got a different life. But in that time, I decided what I really want to do in my life, and to follow my own dreams, and to go down deep with competition and freediving. And then after 14 years or 13 years, I reached the depth of 131 meters in variable weight, head first. So like Maiorca and Mayol. And so in 2012, I reached this great depth. And so I realized my dreams.
That's amazing. So you realized your first dream of seeing sharks in their natural habitat when you did scuba in Mexico, and then eventually you got a record in variable weight. That's amazing. So it looks like things worked out for you quite well.
Yeah.
So when did you stop smoking?
At the age of 25 years old. So during the time I was a smoker, a couple of packets per day. But when I decided, in fact, normally I work even with companies, and when I show the strength of the mind and the strength of the focus and the attention on what we really want, the motivation, then I decided that if I would to improve my own skills in freediving, I needed to stop smoking. So it was not simple, but in a couple of months I did it, and then I start with freediving and work hard on my own physics skills and mentally as well.
Yeah, because I also smoked for many years, especially in my early 20s. I was easily smoking 2 packets a day. And I often wonder, now that I'm a freediver, like how much damage did I do and what effect has that had on my lungs and my potential?
Yeah.
But it seems that at least in your case, because I know that you've shown that you have very good respiratory capacity and a good lung volume and very strong lungs and this kind of thing.
Yeah, I started my trip in freediving with a volume capacity of the lungs around 5 liters and 2 or something like this. And then with working hard on lung capacity, lung elastic cage, and so on. I reached now around 8 and 7, 8 and a half liters volume. So I increased about 3 liters and something. So it's possible. It's possible to increase.
Adding more than 3 liters to your lung capacity is excellent. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So when you say that you worked hard to develop that extra lung capacity and elasticity, what kind of exercises were you doing to do that?
So I normally use one normal physic way that all freedivers know. So, for example, pranayama and yoga, breathing exercises. But then I use another particular way that is named Speedo Tiger. I don't know if you know it. Is a sort of machine. Is a sort of a balloon that you have to fill, and then to empty with your lungs. So you have you have to put your mouth inside of this balloon, and you create the same breathing that you normally can use while running or while swimming, but in a dry area. So you have to focus. You can focus your attention on the muscles of the cage and the lungs. So to increase the elastic way of the lungs and the capacity of the lungs, this is a really great exercise. You can improve even the balloon, because normal the balloon is 4 liters, 5 liters, 6 liters, and the most you are able to feel it, the most your lungs are improved, are increased. So it's an excellent exercise. Actually, I've been training with this from 2011, so it's 6 years, and I never got lung squeeze problems or something. So it's really okay and amazing, even for diaphragm and all the muscles involved in breathing exercise and lungs questions. So even for security or even for safety, it's really great, this kind of exercise.
Yeah, so combination of sort of more traditional yoga and stretching exercises and this Speedo Tiger device.
Speedo Tiger,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I've
yes,
seen a
both,
picture
both.
of you blowing into it, I think, on a YouTube video.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, I post some videos about it, because it's really hard to explain. You have to see it to understand which is the real power and the real aim of this kind of dry exercise.
So is the Speedo Tigers a product that is available to buy online? If the listeners want to try it out, can they go online and find it quite easily?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It costs not so cheap, but it costs a little bit, because there is other instruments that can help you to increase, but or the inside breathing muscle or the exhale muscle. This kind of machine help you to increase both kind of muscles, for inhale and exhale at the same time. So this is introduced in the market not for improve, but to aid people who got some problem in breathing normal. So it's a medical machine. But anyway, it's possible to find it in the web.
Yeah, I'll have a look online, and then maybe I can post a link to that so the listeners can check it out.
Yeah,
that's definitely something that I'm interested in, because after all those thousands of packets of cigarettes, I think I need all the help I can get, you know. So let's
sure.
when did you do your first freediving course, or did you just begin with your friends practicing in the pool with a group of people, or was there some school or instructor that you did your first course with?
So I started on my own in France. I saw many people that come at the pool and wear easy the monofins and start to swim. So I started on my own without fins, without anything. I just swam for an hour, and then I started to train myself in dynamic no fins, so without anything, just to do the movement. Then when I came back in Italy, I decided for safety reason and to know more about freediving, I started with a course, with a class in 2001. And I started with my first course of freediving. And then after that, my mind was definitely open about freediving. And I started to look the web online, research on myself, and started all my path in this discipline. But anything started with a course, yes.
Mm-hmm. And have you been a professional freediver for many years now, like only doing freediving, or do you still have some kind of regular job that you have to do?
So the first years was quite hard to do only freediving, even if I tried to do it. But the first 4 or 5 years, I have to match and to mix a regular job during the day and freediving during the evening and the night. But actually, I do only freediving class course, stage, and training. So now I'm a professional during the last 2 or 3 years.
Do you remember when you started freediving, what it was that you found most difficult in the beginning?
Yes, at the very beginning was really hard here in Italy to find some pool in which I can easy train, because in Italy you can swim as you like, but not freediving. So it was at the beginning really hard to find some place in which I can train. So for course was okay. I could find the course as I like, but training was really an obstacle. Actually, I train in different pools, and now it's easy for me to train, not for the others, but for me now it's okay. I can even train every day in the pool if I need, and during the days, during the daytime, because other thing really difficult at the beginning was this: find some daylight place in which I can train. Now it's okay. And then other thing really hard was find some training that could help freediving, because at the time no one know something about, for example, running. Okay, but running for freediving was really hard to find someone that would explain me how to run to improve freediving, and this as well for the other tips of sports to increase freediving. Now it's clearer, even if each one is different, so you can find easy your path, and the way is to choose something, and then if it doesn't work, change and choose something else. So this is what I love in freediving, because every one of us is different in mind and physical skills, so anyone has to decide his own path, and what is work for me, it's not work for example for you, because we are different. So this is hard to find, but it's even the great journey of freediving. So this is the question. No, there is no something special. There is no um, something that you that can improve and increase your own free diving, because it's different from me for sure.
Yeah, there's no universal training methodology that's going to work for everybody across the board.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's just a case of personally using trial and error and discipline, I guess, to find out what works best for you. So that's what you did.
Exactly.
You kind of figured it out yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you could give one piece of advice to beginning freedivers, what would it be?
For sure, it's to open their mind and to follow a course, because freediving, it's okay, it's wonderful, it's a great journey on your own body, in your own mind, own emotion, but at the same time, it's something that it's dangerous. So we have to know exactly what happens, just to avoid, safety incidents or something. So first of all, really, it doesn't matter what school you can choose, but choose for sure one course, and then put in free diving. What we can put in free diving, what we give to free diving as mind exercise, as breathing exercise, as physical exercise, then free diving get back to us what we gave before. So the training that we can do with free diving sure come back in results, in seconds, in meters, in depth, in everything.
So where do you train now? Are you still living in Milan and training there?
Yes, during winter time, I stay and I live in Milan. So I train in the pool, I train running in the park, and something like this. During summertime, now with Vertical Blue and with Bahamas, I start the athletic season and competition season really early. So in April, March, I start to travel abroad and train and compete. But normally during the summertime, I stay in Calabria, in the south of Italy, and I train and I do course, like in Milan. I train and do course, so I can share the year and share even and plan my training.
So do you have good conditions for depth diving in Calabria?
Yeah, for sure. The best in Mediterranean Sea for about Italy, because I got a Gulf, and so even when there is a sea condition not good, I got and I still have 80 meters, really close to the surface, just for 50 meters from the beach.
From the
So
shore,
it's really,
right?
really,
Yeah.
really close. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't need boat to reach the point of depth training. So I normally use the pedalo, to train myself, and so it's quite easy. Even the water is really warm for about for the middle condition in Mediterranean, because for example at the end of July we got 25 degrees from the surface to 50 meters, where there is the first thermocline. For sure this period, so the end of July and August and during the half of September, this is the summertime for water condition in Mediterranean, that it's okay. After 50 meters we got 18 degrees, and then around 100 meters 15 degrees, but for Mediterranean is normal, no? But anyway, and then outside in Calabria, we got sun all the time, really good food. So it's important even the outside condition to to set your mind and to focus your attention on the training. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people will agree that living on the southern Mediterranean coast is a pretty nice thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if you come from the colder, more northern parts of Europe, right?
Yeah. In fact, one of my aim is to open a free diving only for free divers in Calabria, setting in my own. That's really, really, really cool, for
Yeah.
sure.
I hope that you do that. I'll come and visit you and train with you sometime.
Yeah, for sure, because it's really, really shining. The I told you before, it's really great, not only for free diving, but even for family, for singles. There's all you can have and all you can ask to an holiday.
Yeah.
Not only for free diving, or even for wife, even for child.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, there's something for everybody. Nice. So
Yeah.
maybe you could talk us through like a typical week of your training. Like how many days a week do you train and what kind of training do you do?
Okay, normally I split the year in hard training and specific training. For instance, in this period, for example, I just do a couple of training per day. So, for example, I train Monday and Tuesday. Monday morning, I do technical training in the water. So I increase my technical skills, how to swim, how to do and to improve the swimming technique with monofins and without it. During the afternoon, I do running. And Tuesday in the morning, I start with, in this period, only to aerobic swimming with monofins or without. And then in the afternoon of Tuesday, I do my potential and muscle training. So I push on my muscle outside, because I don't like the gym. So I train outside on the stairs. I do a particular kind of potential to increase my strength, my physical strength.
Do you mean like some kind of like calisthenics exercises, just using your body?
Yes, more or less is something like that. And then I do the same. Wednesday I do rest, and then Thursday and Friday and Saturday I train as well, like this. So normally in a week I train 5 days. 4 of them I do double training per day, and one of these I do aerobic long path just to increase breathing and lungs. Then aside of this, I do Speedo Tiger, stretching exercise or yoga, if you like. But in this part of the year, I do not start even with free diving. Only one training for week. I just do dynamic exercise. Then when I get really close to the season of that, I increase dynamic training, so 3 times per week. And obviously I low a little bit the other training, the other sports. No? So more or less it's something like this.
So yeah, there's a couple of things there I want to ask you about. First of all, is that you use running in your training.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to a lot of people who are of the opinion that running doesn't really cross over very well into freediving. So maybe you could explain what kind of running training you do for freediving and how it helps.
So for freediving, for example, actually I do only aerobic running, so long running, even if because I loved listening music with my iPhone and just ride aside the river in Milan, in Naviglio. And this is for my mind, it's really good because I do not have to focus my mind and I just keep my mind live and dream while I'm running. So for mental and for mind, it's really great. But then for really free diving, I do some running, holding the breath. This is really good for free diving because it's a dry training, but really focus and really add a lot free diving in the water because the mind, whilst you are in the water, it's okay. You can't breathe. So it's focus on the fact that you can breathe. But outside, dry training while running, the mind say to you, why don't you breathe? You are in the air. So it's really much stronger than holding breath in the water. So it's a dual training, even for mind and as well for muscles and for physiological sharing of oxygen and carbon hydroxide. So it's a really great training for free diving, but in this way. So holding breath while running or while running, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I really
Or
love to
walking,
run as well. Yeah, walking up. Yeah, I love to run as well, and you know, I'm doing a lot of long distance running right now. I'm actually preparing for a long trail race. So like today I ran for 4 hours in the mountain. So you know, sometimes I worry like that it's it's not going to be beneficial to my free diving because it's adapting me in the non-specific way to free diving. It's another discipline entirely. But I think that even just the psychological benefits, the how good you feel when you run, and the overall feeling of good health that comes from that is, you know, something to consider as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then we have to consider that there is a general training, and so running even for long distance is okay. And then a specific training for free diving. So we have to adapt our body just to specific skills of free diving. So in that case, in that period, probably long running is not good, but short run.
Over the course of the year, then you're going to periodize things so that you reduce the amount of long running that you do, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so somebody who wants to be a top free diver and a top ultra distance runner, it's probably not going to work out so well for them. But you can focus on free diving and you can still use running up to a certain point.
Yeah, from my experience, I saw that many people that come from running sport, even in the first course, they got really great result even in free diving. So, but in the other step, you have to focus on free diving. So, yes, it's this is the way. If you use running sport as a general conditioning of your anatomic and physiological skills, it's okay. Then for sure you have to focus on free diving. So lactacid, a different kind of exercise, no?
Yeah.
Resistance strength and heartbeat is different.
Yeah, so the other thing that I noticed there is, well, actually, what I noticed, you were talking about doing physical training for the muscles, but I mean, I've seen pictures of you, and compared to most other freedivers, especially freedivers at an elite level, Like you're one of the biggest, most muscular divers that I've seen. Um, is is this something that did you develop this did you develop this muscle at the same time as you were training for free diving, or was that something you had before that is just kind of just still there now?
No, I can say that my body is changed a lot while I'm doing free diving because before I got great muscle, but I work a lot in the gym. Then I leave it out completely, and I focus my attention on a different kind of build muscle, so resistance strength, and I lost a lot of weight, but not muscles, but
Yeah,
fat weight.
fat weights. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now I got a great definition of my muscle because of the particular training that I do for free diving. But it's not a bodybuilder muscles. It's quite muscles that is close to gymnastic sports and gymnastic, or martial
Yeah,
arts,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so kung fu and something like this.
Okay, the
Because
high intensity, dynamic movements,
yeah,
and not just lifting a heavy weight up and down.
so my muscles are reactive. I do good muscles to do what I want to do, even because I'm not tall. So for compared to the other free diver, they got long arm, long legs. So for example, with Miguel Lozano is more or less 1 meters and 95 or something like this. So, for example, each pull on the rope that he does, I need three pulls. So, for sure, I have to focus my attention on the power, on the strength of my movement, and not because I'm not tall, so I have to focus the attention on my own skills, on my own. So that's why probably compared to the other, I'm much more muscle in me. For example, William Trubridge is another one. He's tall and long arms, long legs. Burke is the same. So I have to focus my attention on what I can do, no, to stay close to the other. So in my particular condition, for me, work hard on my physical strength. It's for me to increase my characteristic, my skills, and to equalize one thing that I miss. So, for example, long hearts, long arms, long legs.
Yeah, you have to
So
compensate for your
that's okay.
shorter body, but I
Yeah.
think you're doing quite well. You've done a good job.
Thank you.
You said that when you're training in Calabria, you have really good depth from the shore and you use a pedalo to go out there. So do you
Yeah.
take a pedalo with an anchor and put the anchor down in the water?
Normally, we got a fixed anchor, and we got 2 or 3 points in which we can train depth. For example, we got another point about 150 meters, so just really up from the bottom, because Mediterranean Sea, it's fish. It's a fishing sea, so we can even find in the sea the stuff that you can use for fishing, and for us it's really dangerous. So normal for depth training, we go over there with a little boat because it's 100 and something meters from the shore, so really close as well. But we need the safety system as well. So we don't use the counterballast, but we use a special system motorized so it's really fast to keep me from the bottom to the surface. And then when I used to do my depth training, I have the help for many years of my personal team. There is Camillo Viscomi, that is my right arm, my angel my safety angel in the water. Yeah, yeah. So he's a really engineer of the sea, because he invented this particular kind of safety system. Then probably we are now ready to share with the world, because it's really a great system, really quick and really safety. And then for sure we got even the scooter. So scooter with this system, it's really safety to do depth free diving in Calabria with us. The pedalo, the pedalo used for safety reason in shallow depth. So we can use pedalo, for example, for 30-40 meters, because we can arrange the pedalo with a counterballast for that shallow depth. But for really depth training, we have to use for sure a little boat, just to safety reason, not for other reason.
So you have an underwater scooter, and you have this new mechanized safety system to bring you to the surface.
Exactly. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so you have because a pretty good setup then.
Yeah. Because first of all, we have all the time think about safety first. In fact, now it's years that I stopped with variable weight because of it's really dangerous. But now probably I can come back doing some variable weight performance, because this particular system helped me to get at the surface with the weight of 30 kilos plus me plus 20 kilos downstairs in really quick time. For example, 1 minute for 100 meters with all the weight with me. So it's really quick, really fast. Yeah. So now it's okay. Now we did all the system settled really good, really right, sharp. So now it's okay. For example, last summer I was doing 100 meter in constant weight training dive. I reached 100 meter, but something was wrong with my lanyard. So I just stayed over there 2, 3, 4 seconds just to grab the lanyard. But then after 5 or 7 seconds, this system was normally we used to do this mechanical system work during I come up. So the bottom of the rope followed me. So if something happened around 70, 60, 50 meters when I come back,
it's already
the
working.
System is really, yes, it's already working. So I just to wait and all is coming up, it's okay. In fact, after 5 seconds, the system was actionated, so was started. And I came up around 1 minute and 50 seconds. So the same time that normally I used to go down and come up with my strength, and everything was okay. But we tested in the reality. So when you test something and you know that you are testing something is something different when it happens in the moment that you have to manage the system, you have to work, you have to do something in real time, and it works really good. So we are very happy.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing this system when you
Yeah.
reveal it to the world.
Yes, because it's even a question of find some companies that help
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
to do it, because
Yeah.
now it's artisanal, it's a homemade structure, homemade machine, but we have to do it proper and to share with the world. But we are getting in a few
Okay.
time.
Okay. I look forward to it. What is your nutrition like? Do you eat a special diet for free diving, or do you just not care about your food?
No, 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 no. I'm really focused on my food. This is another reason probably for my muscle and for my body, because I'm 41 years old.
Oh, really?
So
I
if
didn't realize that. That's you don't look 41.
yeah, no, I know, but I got these years. So if I focus even in my diet, even in my training, I can stay. It's not only to show that I yaff or I want to do to do this sport for many years yet. So I do I do I do care my attention on what I eat. So normally I eat like the other sportsmen. So for example, I do rice instead pasta, and for an Italian, it's really hard
Very
to
difficult
do
for you. Yeah. What happens when you go and see your mama? Does she have to make rice for you?
Yeah, that's it's but my close relatives know that I have this particular needs. But anyway, it's really hard in Italy to stay and to focus my attention on the diet. But anyway, for example, at mid time, I eat rice, only rice, some oil, and cheese, the Italian one, Parmigiano. And then during the evening, more or less, meat and vegetables or fish and vegetable. It's really simple, but anyway, I try to focus my attention on eating fruits, legumes, vegetables, meat, fish, and rice. I try to avoid alcohol for sure. So once per year during Happy New Year, I drink some alcohols, for example wine or beer. But normally I drink only still water, and normally I got my nutrition implementation, so integration of the normal food. So for example, vitamin C vitamin,
Hmm.
a lot of lemon, and um, amino acid, protein, something like normal sportsman does for help the training.
And so
And
basically, you eat just real whole food and supplement with some vitamins and protein.
yes, supplement protein, vitamins, and everything is homeopathic. So there is no, for sure, something in addition of my normal strength and normal eat. I do the breakfast. I do Herbalife. I don't know if you know Herbalife nutrition.
Yeah, yeah,
So
we have
it's
this in yeah, we have this here too. Yeah.
yeah. So normally I I do and I eat something, and Herbalife help me because I have to get energy, but without full my stomach, because I need diaphragm to breathe. So for example, if I train at 10 o'clock and I have to eat at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, I can't do a normal breakfast. I have to do something that I can uh, that can help me to get energy, but without have my stomach full or something, you know. So this it's really great for me.
Have you ever had some scary accidents or a bad injury in freediving?
Yes, only one time, and was really really okay, not good, because in 2014 I was in Sharm el Sheikh, just training for doing the world record in variable weight. But at the time, the training was about no limits freediving. So first, I would like to reach the depth, and then try to make it in variable weight. But at the time, I was training in no limits. But I really felt really strong. So probably I did something wrong about depth, because, for example, the first day I did 80 meters, then 90 meters, then 100 meters, even with a rest between one dive and the other, about 10 or 15 minutes, just to exhale all the azote in my body. But at the fourth day of training of this particular training, I got an accident, coming back 110 meters, no limits. In fact, after 10 minutes in the surface, after 10 minutes that I coming up, I just feel my body like if someone was in my own body. I wasn't able to control my body, and bad thinkings, and I wasn't able to coordinate and to use my body. But after 30 minutes, I was kept in the hospital in the hyperbaric chamber, and after 30 minutes of therapy, I was okay. But the therapy took to me 5 hours.
Right. So you're
So I,
saying that you suffered like a decompression sickness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. At the time, yes, and so that's the reason why no limits for me. It rests the discipline the most dangerous for all free divers. And so I focus my attention on constant weight and all discipline of constant weight, and variable weight if I got safety condition. But now, okay, because in no limits we reach some depth that are really, really, really dangerous to manage, even if and even because the speed of this particular discipline. So okay, that was and that is the dangerous fact that happened to me. And once, only once, I felt Taravana a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
because I was training a couple of years before, 3 years ago, but doing a stop at 50 meters, around 1 minute and 30 or less, or something like this, and then breathing at the surface for 5 minutes. So after 6 times, I got some Taravana disturb, like for 2 hours. Then I breathe some pure oxygen for 30 minutes, and everything disappear. Only a great headache, really tough, but nothing more. So I had to change this kind of training. So stop at depth, it's not good for Taravana, for physical condition. So now in depth training, I try to manage this thing. So for example, I do 2 dives, a great depth, and then 1 day stop, 1 day rest, and then other 2 dive and then stop. I try to manage and to organize my depth training better, because I know that normally the body collect a lot of carbonic, but even azote. So sometimes you have to let your body exhale this kind of
to let everything come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone is listening and is not quite sure what Taravana is, that's a South Pacific word for decompression sickness. I think it's the spear fishermen there who suffer from this, right?
Yeah, there is a spearfishing friend of mine that got the Taravana only in 15 meters depth. But when you stay 2 minutes at 15 meters and then you breathe only 30 seconds at the surface, can happen Taravana after 3-4 hours of this game.
Yeah, because you're diving maybe 100 or 200 times, right?
Yeah. So it's easier to get Taravana than in free diving if you do only one dive, even depth. Taravana it's really far. But now, for example, when I train depth, even in Y40, for example, at 42 meters, normally I stay outside 3-4 times the time that I spend in the water. So it's a great job to keep Taravana away.
And the modern dive computers now are pretty good at telling you how long you should stay out the water for before you do another dive as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can keep it away.
So talking of dive computers, what kind of equipment do you like to use? Like, which brands do you like to use?
Yes, actually I use Sunto as well. So D6 Novo, because guarantee me the alarm even at depth. So for me, Sunto it's really sharp, and I can hear the alarms really good. And I use one under my cap because I like to hear the alarm. Another one at the wrist, because even during the warm-up time, I like to watch and to see how long I stayed at that depth. So I got many things to manage during my warm-up, and I want to know. So normally I set one computer on my caps, under my cap, and the other one at the wrist, just to see and to watch. Even my fluid goggles, I do it in Italy, and I settle it, because with my particularly kind homemade to do it, I can see in the water, but even outside, because I like to watch, so I'm not only able to see with my fluid goggles underwater, but even outside.
So you make your fluid goggles yourself?
Yes. Yeah. So I did it. I found this way to settle it, to make it. It's really work. So actually, I'm like this. So then for equipment, I use for no fins some triathlon suit, because guarantee me to have the arms suit really little thickness. But at the same time, guarantee to have the body really warm with thicker suit. And then for constant weight, I use at the moment 3 millimeter suit, but probably in the future I need to change with millimeter and a half. But anyway, still training in Mediterranean is it's cold, so I need the 3 millimeters. But the other top athletes, I saw that they use the 1 millimeter and a half, even because it's a weight reason. Because actually I use 1 kilo for both constant weight and constant no fins. but probably it's time to change to get the weight lower a bit because.
So when your triathlon wetsuit that you use for no fins, is that like an Orca or some other brand?
No, it's my own brand. It's a Busha because I sponsored by Busha and Sunto as well.
If you had to dive in, I know this is a very difficult question. I'm not sure how much traveling you've done, but if you had to dive in one place for the rest of your life, where would it be?
Red Sea for sure.
And where is
This
that?
question for me is Red Sea.
Oh, the Red Sea. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because Red Sea is shining, the water is warm. It's pretty good for water conditioning, but outside conditions are not on me because I'm Italian. For me, the food it's really important. So probably I have to check for probably Caribbean, but the Spanish side.
Yeah.
Because for example, Bahamas, it's okay, but the US influence, you can. It's only for this. I have to find some really warm and calm sea, but at the same time, outside condition really close to Italy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Spanish Caribbean is probably the best that you can do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame there's not an Italian Caribbean.
Yeah. But probably we can create it because you can find easy Italian all over. So why not?
Yeah. Well, you can find bad Italian all over. I'm not sure about good Italian.
Yeah.
So do you have any other interests outside of freediving? Like I know you like to do a lot of like physical stuff, but is there anything like other hobbies that you have?
I got many hobbies. For example, foreign languages. I'm really fond of foreign languages. For example, actually, I speak French, English, Spanish, and I'm studying Russian because just to have and to keep my mind occupied.
Yeah. Yeah. New
And then
language
foods.
is like a gym for the mind, right?
Yeah. So I love do something different, write in different language. And for example, Russian, it's quite interesting because even alphabetic, it's total different, and so you have to focus your attention and write something that you aren't used to write. So it's really hard. And then kitchen as well. I love cook foods. So like Tonino Cannavacciuolo or Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I think everyone knows those names. Yeah.
So normally I try to do something even for athletes, some foods because sometimes we think that an athlete couldn't eat well. Indeed, the athlete must eat something, but why not well? So I try to do food for athletes, so clean, cooked, probably without oils, but with a little bit wine, different kind of rice. So I love cook. And then the other hobbies that I have is to travel abroad and to know foreign people, foreign country. It's really good to have the mind open.
If you ever come to Taiwan, you will
for sure
experience a very different foreign culture.
Yeah, I have to go and meet you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome to visit me. I'll show you some diving spots here.
Yeah.
And you can use my kitchen and make me something to eat as well. That can be
fantastic.
Can be your rent money.
Okay.
So, do you have like a morning ritual, like something that you always do to start the day?
Yes, normally I say thank you to the universe because I think that I'm really I got the chance to do what I want to do in my life. It's not for all, so I focus my attention on this. So I'm really grateful. So the first thing when I wake up in the morning is to say, I'm here, I'm still alive, and I'm very thankful for this. I don't know if I say this to God or to the universe, but it doesn't matter. And so I start my own day like this. And when I started with this, my life changed a lot because, even for this little thinking, but I think that the day starts in a different way because you are grateful for many things, and I'm still alive. I got my own body, my mind open. So it's quite hard and difficult as all of body to think like this when things are not going as you like. That's normal, no, in life. But anyway, this helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think that showing
it's a little mantra.
I think that showing gratitude and is a very powerful practice, especially to start the day. And I think a lot of people, it's accessible to a lot of people because it's not necessarily about God or about some spiritual thing, but even if you just look at it from a psychological perspective, it sets your mind and your heart up in the right way for the rest of the day, I think.
Yeah, in fact. And it's a little bit, it's my mantra. It's, yes, I say thank you for my family, for my child, for my wife, my parents, something like this. So it's a little prayer during the morning and during the night before go sleep.
Which people have been most influential in your life? Are there any very special people that you couldn't have done without to get to where you are now?
But it's strange, but probably my mother that was for a certain period against me because, I did normal life for a certain period because I studied, I got a degree in economics. So probably for a mother, she expected for me a different life. So I mean that she was, it was really hard to her to accept my life close to the sea, doing by a sort of job, not usual job. So, but at the time, something that she said to me helped me a lot, because, for example, she said to me many times that if a man really wants, but really wants something, could reach it, even if to become a king. And my father as well, because my father, not with words, but probably with the example of hard life and hard focus, and with his example shown me that if I really want something, I have to work hard all the day, every day to reach it. So probably my skills are this: focus the attention every day, really strong mind, really with constant constant work, constant training. So probably my father and my mother, they really don't know that probably they teach me more than I. And then many movie of me, for example, Rocky Balboa, so Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, the myth, So, for example, while I'm training, even if I listen at the Rocky soundtrack, because
so you start to train harder.
Yes. I listen all the time that the Rocky history and the Rocky soundtrack, because when I was young, I saw Rocky Balboa, pam. So I grew up with this myth, no? great heart, stronger, and if you are you believe in yourself, just till the end you can even beat the big robotic man from Russia. No? So you Rocky 4, for example. Yeah. So little myth that's growing in you, and sometimes I see me in the mirror and I say, oh, probably you reach it like Rocky, so you have to stay strong, to stay really tough, to stay in this. So this is my way of doing training and stuff.
If you could meet one famous person and spend the day with them, who do you think it would be?
Probably really an actor, I'm sure, an actor, but I have to choose it. But anyway, probably I'd like to spend a day. I would spend a day with Maiorca. I send him many mails, but I didn't get the chance.
Enzo Maiorca,
but anyway,
just a bit too late.
Yeah, Enzo Maiorca. Yeah. But actually, probably with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. Or Sylvester Stallone or Alessandro Del Piero, because he was a really great athlete. Not only a soccer man, so he played football. Okay, he plays soccer, but probably yes, I would like to spend a day or Rocky or Sylvester Stallone or Alessandro Del Piero.
I was going to ask if you could recommend a movie for the listeners to watch. Would that movie be Rocky then?
Yeah, Rocky 4th, but at the same time even Le Grand Bleu, Luc Besson, for sure. Even if recently I saw a movie, Rush, the history of Niki Lauda and
I remember that.
Yeah, really
that was
great.
Awesome. Yeah, brilliant movie.
Yeah, because I love the struggle between two men that because probably I got a little bit the same history with Davide Carrera. We are competitors.
It's funny,
for
actually,
many years.
I was supposed to interview him like 2 weeks ago, and then we had some mix up and we had to change the schedule. So you beat him to the interview.
Okay.
You got here first.
Okay. No, in fact, we got a really great relationship that started because of freediving. And so we are competitors for many years. So we are all the time, the reason of training for the other, actually. So it's great. Really different way to see life, to see things. So we are different characters, different person, but we with a common aim, with a common passion, freediving. So yes, me, it's a little bit more like Enzo Maiorca, and he's a little bit closer to
Jacques
Mayol, if we can. Yeah. So we are different. Yeah.
So you're really living out your dream that when you saw the Big Blue, you're almost like there's like a reflection of that movie in your life now.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. In fact, I got the chance to compete in the real Big Blue, and last September that I won with Miguel Lozano, and I got the chance to do the first deep dive in the same place where the movie has made 30 years before. So it was really, really great emotion because, you carry on your dream. I was there in the same situation of the movie, and I got the chance even to meet Jean-Marc Barr, the actor, the star, the actor who did Jacques Mayol. So it was really, really emotional, this thing. But anyway, so.
Yeah, I hope that maybe not next year, but the year afterwards, I'll be able to go to that competition, just even to visit, because for me as well, the Big Blue is kind of like my first exposure to freediving, and I think for many other freedivers too. But
Yeah.
it would be an amazing pilgrimage to go to that place, I think,
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
the atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Can you recommend a book or an author for the listeners? Do you read much?
Not really. I prefer see movie, but I recommend my personal book that I wrote. But now it's not available in English version as yet. But I wrote a book that is swimming throughout the sharks, but not the sharks that you can find down water, but the sharks that are alive in the surface. So, but I kept my experience and I did this kind of book. This is of motivation. For example, if you want to stop to smoke, with my book, you can do it, because I try to explain how the feelings, how the mind of the people and the person are the same. So how to keep your personal skill and to pick up at the surface. So how to take what wonderful you got inside and to keep it outside. So for me, any one of us got something incredible and something really, really perfect inside. But sometimes we have to keep it and to take it outside. And I try on my little to explain how, with my experience, how I did it. So I share with the other.
So your book is available in Italian at the moment. Is that something that people
At the moment,
can they order that through like Amazon.com or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure we have many Italian listeners. I know for sure we have many Italian listeners, so I'll put a link to that in the show notes. So if anybody wants to pick up your book, they can do that.
Okay. The title is Nuotando con gli squali.
Okay, I'm not going to repeat that, but I'll
Yeah.
I'll write the words
Okay.
down on the page. Yeah. Italian was a language I never really got much exposure to, so I wouldn't embarrass myself. Um, so, what are your plans for the future? I mean, you say that it's kind of a dream of yours to open a school in Calabria. Is that something that might happen quite soon, or is that maybe quite a few years away?
Yeah, no, I mean that probably not next year, but the following year. So in 2019, I'm surely I'll be ready to do this. So this year's still to do some practice, and in 2019, for sure, I will be able to offer free diving by Homar Leuci in Calabria. The other close future, is to train and to do some important thing even this years, because I have to get back the record in monofin. So I quite train hard. Now is settled by Davide Carrera, and I have to go to try to have back this important record. So I quite focus my attention over there. And then there is the World Championship. I don't know where, but it will be really important for athletes, because this time they decided if definitely free diving goes to Olympics game or not. So we all hope that finally free diving go to Olympics games. At the time I will be 48 years old, but you never know. Probably I can do it. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
but this is
if freediving goes to the Olympics, then maybe even I could compete at the Olympics in freediving if I put my head down for 8 years, work my hardest.
Yeah. So
I hope to see you there.
Yeah, we hope.
Can you say in just a few words, why do you freedive?
Uh, I don't know. In fact, it's free diving that chose me, and not I chose free diving. So it's something. It's a little. Um, it's a little voice that you hear inside of you that try to keep you downstairs in depth. So actually, there's not a quiet and shining reason. I do this because I feel really free when I do it. I feel free in the sea, and I feel part of the world when I train. When I go down deeper, and when I stay grabbing the rope for a while, for an instance, for some seconds. But over there, I can share eternity. I can share infinity of the world. So it's something that it's hard to explain, but it's really emotional.
Thank you so much
Thank you
again.
too.
Yeah, and I really hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna get ready for bed now.
Okay. Good night.
That was Homar Leuci. Maybe one day we'll be diving together at the Olympic Games. Who knows how the wind blows. Don't forget to take advantage of that special offer from 2B Free Equipment. They have amazing gear, especially the boys. I love them. And you get free worldwide shipping when you use the message Freedive Café, free shipping in the order notes. That's at 2bfreeequipment.com. Go there, check it out. Okay, feel free to add me on Facebook where I am Donny Mac, DonnyMac. Follow me on Instagram where I am Donny McFar. And otherwise, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can also contact me through the website. Don't be shy, say hi. Until next time, my friends, dive safe.